Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Tuesday. It's Transformational Tip Tuesday, and you're here. I love it. Lindsay's in the house, Jenny's in the house, Amber's in the house. You know that already, right? So am I. And there's our girl Evie and Debbie and Lizzie and Kathy already here. So nice to say hello. I'm glad you're here. Mary Ann, I'm glad you're here as well. I'm really excited about today's show because I think there's going to be some aha truth bombs falling. You like that? I'm all about the truth bombs because you know what? They just make a difference in the way that you do life. Do you know that? Marguerite does. Jocelyn does. I know Carol and Nancy do. Nancy's already made her bone broth, y'all. She's on it. We're on that as well today, so I'm excited about it. Hi, Martha. So good to see you. Quote of the day. I love this one. It's so sweet. Steady as a clock, busy as a bee, and cheerful as a cricket from Martha Washington. You know, you can see her kind of buzzing around the White House doing that, can't you? What did they have back then? They didn't have the White House, did they? Whatever. You can see her being the first lady, can't you? She was busy back then. Angie's here, Lily's here, so's Mary Ann and Tracy. Hello. I can't wait to share with you today all the good stuff. We've got it. We've got a ton of good stuff. Wait till you hear when we talk about attitude. This is some yum stuff that you can take to the bank. Darla, Lucy, Jeanette, hello. So good to see you. Jeanette's one of my newest NutriCoach students. I'm really excited for her. Isn't it so sweet, Lucy? She said she likes that quotation. I like it too because it just makes me smile. We are in the middle of watching Downton Abbey, and I know we're late to the party. Let's see what happened. I can't remember. What's his name just died? Mary's husband just died. That's sad. And we're going through the whole thing. What a good show. I mean, it took me a long time to get there. What a good show. Carla, hello. I'm so glad you're here. Last night, we did the Get Strong webinar, which I'm really glad about because we're getting ready to do the Get Strong Challenge again. You ready for that? Catherine's ready. I know you are, right, Catherine? Had to go get new bands? No, that was Sarah yesterday. But I'm excited about the Get Strong Challenge, doing that again, because, you know, nothing feels better than feeling really, really strong. It's fantastic. You feel strong. You are strong. Your stamina's better. You have a better attitude. Well, we're talking about that today. You know why? You know why? We get the serotonin hit, the dopamine hit. Listen, I'll take everything I can take. You know, it really helps a lot. So I'm super excited for that. If you don't know about it, you can go pick up your guide at savingdinner.com/strong. That's where it is. We have a kit there as well. And remember, when we put these kits together, we always give you a nice big fat discount. So that's fantastic. Number two, the guide is going to give you everything that you need and tell you exactly what to do. You can order some bands off of Amazon so that you can do all of the exercise, but just really, really fantastic. There's my girl, Jerry. She said she's getting back into the groove. Are you excited for Jerry? I say give her a high five because she just completed a 5K a little bit earlier. Lily's got her pinkies up. You know what that means? She's all over it. Corliss is here. My hair is mega adorable. My hair is mega frizzy. We're being deluged with all of this water. You know, I guess there's some storm coming through or whatever, but Brevard is just we're soaked. I was just telling Jenny that, my poor little Lincoln, he does not like getting wet. He will jump into the water. You've seen him do that, right? I've got all kinds of videos showing you how he likes to launch himself off the dock. Loves to do that kind of wet, but getting rained on, So guess what he's been doing? Peeing on my front steps. Isn't that special? Lucky me. Like I said, I live a very glamorous life. I know you're wondering what's up. Laura, hello. Nancy, Noreen, Carol is pinkies up too. I love it when you guys throw your pinkies up before I even say it. We are full blooming it still on September 11th. We are. September 11th is Saturday, September 11th. We are full blooming. It is a virtual event. Are you coming? I'm going to tell you what. This is the thing you need to know. One of these things that when you invest your time in yourself, you know, you get back all that as dividends. Do you know that? I cannot wait to share this all with you. Plus, we're going to be debuting a very special book that you've been waiting for a long time. You're going to want to be there. This is going to be really, really fun. I cannot wait to see you all there. Oh, Lori, hello. You aren't actually going to fix your bad dinners. Lori, I can fix your bad dinners. Come on, I can help you out with that. You know, I was just thinking about that. There are some things that I want to get done in the kitchen, and I can do all kinds of things. But I'm going to tell you, our daily dish is always going to be the daily dish, and I'm always going to be sitting here in my little office talking to you this way because it's just simpler, and then it's a production when we do it in the kitchen. But I'll help you out. You just tell me to see. You just tell me what you need, and I'll help you out, sister. I promise you. Jama, Joanne, good to see you both. That's exactly what we want. Doris is here. Yeah, we're still full blooming. We are still full blooming. We're not going to be able to see each other face to face this year because you know what? COVID's it's getting ugly out there, and I am not about to put anyone in jeopardy. Not for a second. There's risk involved, you know, and I'm just not willing to take not one tiny risk. So listen, I'm going to tell you, I had one of the gals tell me that her VRBO is not letting her out off the hook, her car, the flight and everything. You know what? I would Google how to get out of something because of COVID, you know, a flight or whatever, and get on that because you should not have to be out that money. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, Catherine, COVID is a jerk, a big time jerk. And when companies come back and they start acting like jerks back because we're trying to protect your health, that's not okay. At the very least, you know what I would do if that was, I would issue a chargeback. I'm not that kind of person usually. I'm just not, you know, I take responsibility and I take seriously the things that I do, but I'm going to tell you what, that's just wrong. Wrong all the way around. So fight back. Pinkies up. Wise women have a voice. And they're not going to let this big travel or big airlines or anybody else push us around. It's ridiculous. Boo. Did you see our supplement of the week? It's vitamin D. Vitamin D. Buy 3, get 1 free. This is how you keep your immune system up. Go get your vitamin D checked. You can do this. It's very inexpensive to do. You can even find a test on Amazon to do it. It's worth it. Know where your vitamin D levels are and then supplement accordingly. It makes a difference for your immune system. It makes a difference for your bones because it works with calcium, magnesium. So I'm loving this. I think this is a great deal. You know, we have a lot of people who shop our show specials, and you should too. Because we're always doing something special like this. savingdinner.com/show. That's where you're going to find all the details. That's right. Plus, we have all of our tools. Come on. Look. Do you love our grit? I have grit, not quit. I love this mug, this little fire engine red mug. Plus, I love our quote deck. Plus, I love our journals, of course. All of our success tools are there, and each one has individually been thought of and configured according to what the latest research is telling us to help you set up your whole environment for success. Don't you love that? Check it out at savingdinner.com/success. And of course, we have questions always on Fridays. So send them in to support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday. Ta-da! How do you like that? It's easy. It is easy to do. So what else? Am I missing anything else? I do not think so, except I did tell you about Full Bloom, savingdinner.com/bloom. Go read the description, for heaven's sakes. We have a 2K now on the whole situation. You know, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is could be an opportunity for you to change your life and see something completely different. That's how we share with these whole things. It's going to be a workshop. We're going to have fun things to do. And just trust me, you don't want to ever miss Full Bloom, right? Pinkies up. Yeah, I know, Lily. Thank you, Joanne. You're right. The best, she says, the best products ever. She's right. Joanne knows. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, in your order, you've got one of these coming, Joanne. Just saying. Okay, so today, so you know what we're doing today? We are today all about talking about how our attitude is a choice, and that we're not saddled with any such attitude. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, let me see if I can find this really quick. You know what the dictionary calls an attitude? A settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. Doesn't that blow you away? That blew me away. And you know, the thing is that we oftentimes think that we have no control over our attitude. It's just something that shows up. And every once in a while, you know what I come across too is I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You know, last night I was in bed. I was up until 2. Last time I looked at my clock was at 2:12. 2:12. I had my head full of all kinds of stuff. I got a tax bill I wasn't quite ready for, which is a good thing, I guess. I got, I had a bunch of things on my mind. I've got a list of things that I need to do. I will tell you right now that when your brain gets going and all of that, and you're not getting enough sleep and what have you, and you wake up, you have a choice to make when your feet hit the floor. You know, I was feeling kind of crabby, kind of out of it, and I just felt kind of dingy this morning. And I slept a little bit later than I usually do. So I was behind all the way. But guess what? You want to hear something? I made a choice as I was coming out of the bedroom to not be a jerk. You know, just because I felt kind of yucky and off and snappy. I didn't want anyone talking to me. I just wanted coffee. I didn't want the dog. I didn't want Mark. I didn't want anything. I just wanted quiet and just whatever. But I made a different choice, because that's never going to show up in anyone's life and be helpful to anyone, including me. Our attitude is always a choice. And our attitude covers and spreads over everything. Over everything. Do you know, I love what, James Clear is one of my favorite authors. He's wrote Atomic Habits. If you haven't read that, I strongly suggest you read it. It's a really good book. And one of the things that he says that we should do, he said there's choice architecture versus willpower. Because we all know this about willpower, right? Willpower is just, willpower is just so overrated. And so I feel like it's an old magazine from Cosmopolitan back in the day. How to have really great willpower so you can get skinny at last. Crap like that we just bristle over. But there's choice architecture. I love that, because that means we can build something that creates the choices and reflects the choices that we want to have in our lives. I love that. He talked about an experiment that was done in a hospital. And what they noticed was that people, you've seen this, that you have it at the checkout stands and everything. They put purposely at those checkout stands, gum and candy and chips and drinks and all kinds of things. And they have that in the hospital cafeteria too. So they're checking out in the hospital cafeteria, right? And they had a big bin of sodas, and they noticed that their soda consumption went up. So they took another look at the whole thing and moved the sodas over into another case and instead put water by the checkout. And do you want to hear something? The soda consumption went down and the water consumption went up because of the choices. We are all like this. We're creatures of habits, and we have a tendency to just pick something up, sometimes mindlessly, like that. Isn't that incredible? So what they saw was a 25%, almost 26% increase in water sales and an 11.4% drop in soda sales. Isn't that insane? That's crazy. So we have to understand, and this is why I am adamant about our success tools, about having this mug looking at us, about having a quote deck like this. This is what's on mine right now. I've showed this to you. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek, from Joseph Campbell, one of my favorite quotes. And all the other ones that come in here, my journal, same thing. They're all deliberately, creatively put together using psychology, using habit, and using the way we do things to create new choices. And new choices directly impact the attitude that we have with ourselves. It's everything. Exactly, Sarah. It is everything. Because our willpower is so fleeting and unreliable. I don't know anyone with ironclad willpower. I really don't. And if when we rely on willpower, we're relying on something that may or may not be there. But if we have created an environment that sets us up for success, there it is. And don't you know that that environment is going to create within us an attitude that's going to spill out over everything that we do. It's going to spill out in our relationships. It's going to spill out into our jobs. It's going to spill out into everything, because that's what it does. How do you like that? It's unbelievable. So if you will remember, there was a post. This is a while ago, and as a matter of fact, I was going to go into our Hot Melt Sprint group and pop it up a little bit so everybody could read it. But there was a gal in there named Sherry who took a picture of a brownie pan. And what she did, and she has a whole story there on how she made a different choice. She looked at it, she registered what was going on, and she knew that, willpower, not one little bit, not one, any kind of a thing. She knew that it was something that she didn't need to touch. So she changed her environment. She changed where the brownies went. She changed everything so that her environment was setting her up for the success that she wanted. And she changed her attitude about that. Instead of saying, poor me, I can't have this, that's not fair. Remember, we talked about fair yesterday. We all know what fairs are. They have Ferris wheels. That's it. There's no such thing as fair in this world. But that just changed everything for her. And we have the ability to do this at any moment. And as we do this, I want you to just look at, as you change your environment and you create your choice structure and architecture the way you want to, I want you to notice how that's changed your attitude. It changes you to a person that can do. It changes you to a person that says, yes, I've got this, doesn't it? I know it does for me, and it makes me feel so much better about myself, because now I'm not relying on something that's completely unreliable. You see where I'm going with all of this? Sarah says she loves the new quote deck. Well, I'm so glad you do. You have to tell me what your favorite quote in there is, because I just keep going back and forth. There's so many in here, but I've just had on my quote deck, I've just had Joseph Campbell's in there just because I need the reminder. That's what I need. See, that's my environment. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at my full bloom cup. I'm looking at so many different things that tell me that I'm on board with the choices that I'm making, and that's helping to create the path. And my attitude is completely shifted. So change is influenced, by environment. Change your environment, you're going to change what's influencing you. If you are surrounded with a bunch of stuff that doesn't work, if you're surrounded with a bunch of food that doesn't work for you and people all doing it, that's a tough situation. You could at least need to change your one little corner of the world. You know that. So that you have a pantry that's welcoming and is going to work for you. So that you have places in your refrigerator where you can see the food that, yes, you indeed can eat this and this is good for you. So you see the quotes that support the kind of life that you want to live. Yeah, that's exactly right. Thank you, Sarah. Vibrant lives don't just happen. They're planned and worked for. It's exactly right. Anytime we want something in this life, everything needs to come under analysis. And we need to check our attitudes first at the door. Because if we have an attitude that we can't do it, then we are absolutely going to fulfill that premise. We are. if we have an attitude that we can do this, that we can shift our environments, that we can be the architects of choice for what we want around us, I want you to think how powerful that makes you feel. And I believe that power is part of our attitude, because when we feel powerless, we sure get a little squirrely. At least I do. I'm not happy. I don't want somebody running my show. I want to run my own show. Thank you very much. Don't you? I know you do. This is why this is all what it is. And, there's a really good thing. And I've shared with you how much I love BJ Fogg. He wrote the book, Tiny Habits. And he says that habit is by cue. Habit is by cue. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So if you're hiding your stuff out of sight and everything is difficult to get to, it's time to rearrange things so that you can have things available to you. I did this with my all my workout stuff, because I had, right now I have a little bit of a project in my closet. Mark built a fabulous closet, but it needs a little work. It doesn't have cubbies. I need cubbies and things to roll up my leggings and all of that. So everything is just kind of a mess. So I took 2 drawers of mine and I made a place for all the leggings and all the, t-shirts and workout bras and all of that stuff. So it's easy to grab. When it's easy, it gets done. When it's hidden and it's hard to find and it's frustrating, what happens over a period of time? We stop doing it. We don't do frustration. If we live in frustration, we're just living in just this abyss of misery. So let's not do that. Oh my goodness. That was my, I didn't realize that quote made it into the quote deck. Well, hello. How do you like that? So out of sight, out of mind, that's good for some things like cookies and potato chips and stuff that you don't want to have in your life because they steal your vibrancy. So in sight and in mind are all the things that are going to set up your choice architecture for the environment that you want to have. And it's going to directly influence every single thing that you think about and that you exude. And that's your attitude. And remember, though, reminders come in many forms. They do. There's a lot of different things. Remember, we talked about kitchens closed? That's a reminder. And sometimes we need to do this. BJ Fogg was really emphatic about this. And as a matter of fact, I've started doing this. Anybody else started doing this? After my workouts, I'm high-fiving myself and going, yeah, you did it, girl. Way to go. Of course I do. You know why I do that? Because I want to feel good about everything that I'm doing. And I recognize what I'm doing here. I know that it's just a manipulation tactic for my brain. I don't care. Who says that I can't do that? And I'm not going to sit there and feel goofy about it. I'm going to get right up and into it. And the reason why is because it makes it that much easier to do the next time, because feelings follow us. You know that. When you don't want to do something and you feel, I just don't want to do it, you can change that. You can shift that. Again, choice architecture helps. And then we have a different attitude about working, like, I get to do this. Boy, what a difference that makes, doesn't it? I get to. That's huge. That's huge. That makes you start to look at something, instead of looking at it as drudgery, you're looking at it as privilege, which it, by the way, is. I watched the news yesterday for a little bit, as much as I could stand, because I'm absolutely destroyed by watching what's going on in Afghanistan right now. It's terrible. It's what a failure that is. And seeing those people run for the plane and seeing people sitting on top of the plane trying to get in, And I see all of that, and I think of the desperation that they feel, the desperation and just the sadness. And then I think about me here at home thinking, I just don't want to. And I think about them over there. Sometimes we need to take a look at the comparison is when we're looking at stuff like that. That's what we need to compare. There are people in this world who would give anything for just a glimmer of your life. And here we are complaining and whining like a bunch of, pampered sissies. And maybe we are, Probably we are. But we're privileged. And we get to do this. We get to eat healthy. We get to have hydration stations. We get to get strong and take our collagen and fast on purpose, not fast because there's no food. I think it's important that we kind of make a shift and take a peek-see at that sometimes. I really do. So BJ Fogg had some things to say about this, and I've got 4 things I'm going to give you that he said about as far as creating the environment to support a better attitude, for heaven's sakes. He said 1 is to make announcements that are pronouncements about what you want. We talk about this all the time. Like, I'm having a good day. And remember, we speak in I am statements because 1, super powerful, and 2, present tense. Your brain understands that. Your brain registers those messages way better because they understand that completely. That's what your brain hears. That's what the science tells us. So make announcements that are pronouncements about what it is that you want. If you wake up like I did this morning on the wrong side of the bed, feeling kind of just, crazy just because you didn't get enough sleep and you had a lot on your mind and all that other kind of stuff. It happens, right? But then you make a choice and you pronounce out loud what you're going to have. I'm going to have a good day. That's what I said. I am going to have a good day. And that reflected immediately in a complete shift of my attitude. Otherwise, I could have made everyone miserable, including myself. Who wants that? Number 2, start your day declaratively. Remember we talked about decide, declare, and decree? We can do that with everything. Like, today is going to be massively productive. Today, I am being massively productive. I have got a list of things to do that you wouldn't believe. And as soon as this show is over, I am going to go into massively productive mode. I have a lot of things to knock out. I'm going to get it done. I just bought a new course. I'm going to do 2 hours of that course today because I'm constantly learning. This is what helps me to be the best that I can possibly be. Otherwise, what am I going to do? Sit around and twiddle my thumbs or sit around and hope that somebody decides to go buy a bottle of multivitamins or something? That's just not the way it works. The way it works is being active and busy in your business, and also being active and busy in your own life. Being the person that I want to be the person that I say I am. So I have to do things every single day. If I am an athlete, I better well go and do athletic things with this proclamation. Amen. Number 3, create parallel thinking model for the hard to do stuff. So what you can think about when you do the parallel thinking would be, on one hand, you're thinking, this is really difficult. On the other hand, you're thinking, yeah, I know it's difficult, but I can do it. That's a little bit of parallel thinking. Go get it, Sarah. Go get them. You need some. When we have some parallel thinking, we can also do this with the pro-con list. I've shared that. That's like one of the best things ever. My daughter and I used to do this all the time when she was growing up. On one hand, this, on the other hand, that. Those are parallel universes, right? If you're on the pro side or on the con side, you can do this at any time, especially when there's things that you're struggling with, like consistency or showing up or doing the things that you say you're going to do or fulfilling the promises to yourself. Because remember, that always dings our integrity. When we do not show up and we do not do the things that we say that we're going to do, when we lack in consistency, there's a big ding to our integrity there. We feel it. We feel less than, and nobody wants that. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. So show up and just do it anyway and watch what happens. And especially if you can do your pro-con list, like, if I show up, if I do these things consistently, yes, I can give myself a rest day. Yes, I can do these. I've done this whole thing with my stuff, and I've broken things down. When it got too hard, it was too difficult, I looked at it and analyzed it without beating myself up and made a decision that I would do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 20 minutes here, there, and everywhere. And at the end of the day, it probably adds up to a little bit more than an hour of work. Didn't feel like that. and I'm getting results and I feel good. Kept my energy level. There you go. Why? Because I analyzed it. I didn't groan and moan over it. There's a big difference. Number 4 is show and tell. You do this for yourself. It's super fun. This is when you talk yourself through it. You say, okay, Leanne, it's time to go. Let's do this. We're going to get in there. We're going to go knock out 10-minute core right now. We're going to go get that done. Then we're going to go and we're going to have lunch. And later on, after we do this at 2:00, I'm going to do this. Walking and talking yourself through it. I got it written down as well as all in here. I've also got I'm using my alarms on my phone for my hydration and getting up off my butt. So I'm not sitting all day like a slug, a big pile of jello. It makes all the difference in the world. Walk yourself through it. And when I'm done, this is my new one, right? Arms, Nancy. Yes, right? There it is. And you know what arm that I did today? Well, I didn't do it today. I did it yesterday. When I was done, I said, that was easy. High five. It wasn't. I did a walk run with the dog, in a minute that we didn't have a big, massive rainstorm. And it wasn't easy, but I told myself it was anyway. And guess what? I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again. Consistency is everything. You have the ability at any moment to make a decision for your consistency. That consistency is going to spill over into everything, including your attitude. It's everything. Long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. Yes, yes, yes. I know that's Bruce Lee in the new quote deck. I love it so much. It's so good. So here's what I have for you today as we close and wrap all of this thing up. I want you to think about your attitude when you get up tomorrow morning. When you go to bed tonight, make a decision, will you? Make a decision that tomorrow you're going to have the very best attitude you can possibly be. And make a declaration that today is going to be the best day ever. And make it so. We attract in the things that we're talking about. We're constantly looking for evidence to support the things that we say. So wouldn't you rather have this good stuff coming towards you than not? I don't know about you. That's where I want to live. That's where I want to live. Darla says, yes. Yes, Darla, I agree with you 100%. And I really appreciate the fact that you show up so often. And two, feel free. If you want to share this with someone, I'd love to meet some of your friends. Bring them on in. We've got a nice, big, fabulous community all waiting for you. So take care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow for Wise Women's Wednesday. Peace out.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.